So Suno AI just stopped feeling like a toy. The Studio 2.0 update dropped a real plugin rack directly into your project, the same kind of tools you'd normally expect to see inside an actual DAW. So let's open it up, go through every plugin that's available, and then actually use some of them on a real song. First one, Compressor. All this does is even out your volume. Loud parts get pulled down, while quieter parts stay where they are, so nothing is suddenly jumping out or disappearing in the mix. Next, Convolution. This does a similar job to Reverb, just in a completely different way. Instead of building a space from scratch, it uses a recording of a real acoustic environment, something like a hall, church, or chamber, and places your sound inside it. You're stepping into one that already exists. Then there's Delay. Pretty simple idea. It repeats your sound like an echo. You can set the timing manually in milliseconds or lock it to your song's tempo so every repeat lands rhythmically on the beat instead of just trailing off wherever. Distortion is next. This pushes your signal beyond clean and into something rougher, grittier, and more aggressive. And Suno gives you a bunch of different modes here: soft, hard, fold, and a few others, with each one shaping and clipping the signal differently. So every mode gives you a slightly different flavor of distortion. Next is EQ. You probably already know this one. Studio even has a separate EQ section under clip settings. But this plugin gives you another way to shape which frequencies are louder or quieter. Cut some low end, brighten up the highs, or pull out one annoying frequency that's getting in the way. Simple concept, but EQ ends up doing a huge amount of the real work in a mix. Next, Gate. Basically, think of this as a volume switch. When the signal drops below a certain level, the gate turns it down or shuts it off. That makes it useful for cleaning up background noise, hiss, or even tightening a performance where notes are ringing out longer than you actually want. Then we have the limiter. Think of this as compression's stricter older sibling. Instead of gently pulling peaks down, it puts a hard ceiling on the signal. Nothing gets past it. That's why it's usually the last stop before a mix goes out the door. And finally, Reverb. Same basic goal as Convolution, placing your sound inside a space, except here you're building that space yourself instead of borrowing the acoustics of a real one. You have control over things like how long the reverb rings out, how it fades, and how much of the effect gets blended with the original sound. But here's the part that actually surprised me. You're not limited to just these 8 plugins. There's a Create New Plugin option sitting right inside the same browser. You can describe the kind of effect you want, and Studio can actually generate a working plugin for you right there. This video is part 1 of a 4-video series we're doing on Studio 2.0, so there's a lot more coming beyond just plugins. But that's the toolbox. Now let's actually use some of it. I've already got a song sitting here in Suno, and I want to take it a little further and give it a more produced feel.
We chased the stars through midnight skies, found little sparks in tired eyes. No matter where the road may go, I walk beside you, soft and slow.
So let's bring it into Studio. First thing, Studio now asks me something new. Do I want to bring the full mix in as one track or split it into stems immediately? Let's go with stems. And look at that. Full breakdown, strings, percussion, keyboard, guitar, bass, drums, backing vocals, lead vocals, everything separated and sitting on its own track. Let's listen closely to this guitar stem. I select it, open the plugin browser, and I'm going to add Distortion. Distorting a full chord doesn't give you a clean wall of sound. Usually the lower notes push through harder than the rest, so what you get is punchier and rougher, not polished. That's just how it behaves on a real performance. This took a bit of back and forth, honestly, but once I pushed the drive up, pulled the tilt down, and switched the mode over to sine, that was it. same notes, completely different texture. Okay, now let's move over to the vocal.
We chased the stars through midnight skies, found little sparks in tired eyes, no matter where the road may go.
And you can hear the problem straight away. Some words are coming through really loud while others almost disappear. So let's add a compressor. Like I said, compressor evens that out, pulls the loud peaks down so the whole thing feels more consistent.
We chased the stars through midnight skies, found little sparks in tired eyes, no matter where the road may go.
Yeah, that's sounding pretty good. Much more controlled, much more even. Let's go back on the guitar. I want to throw a gate underneath the distortion. Like I said earlier, a gate is basically a volume switch. When the signal drops below a certain level, it turns it down or closes it off. So the idea here would be to clean up anything ringing out longer than it should, or remove low-level noise between the notes. Now honestly, on this particular guitar stem, I'm not hearing much unnecessary noise, so I don't really need the gate here. But if I did come across a noisy stem, here's how I'd approach it. Say there's hiss sitting underneath a quiet section, or a note keeps ringing after you want it gone. You'd select that section, hit Add Effect, drop a gate on it, and work through 5 controls. Threshold, how quiet the signal has to get before the gate kicks in. Floor, how much the sound gets reduced when the gate is closed. Doesn't have to go completely silent. Attack, how quickly the gate opens. Keep this fairly quick so you don't chop off the start of a note. Hold, how long the gate stays open before it's allowed to close again. And release, how quickly it actually closes once that hold time is finished. Dial those 5 in properly, and you can clean up unwanted noise without destroying the natural performance. Anyway, back to this track, back to the vocal, I'm adding reverb. Same idea I mentioned earlier. We're putting the voice into a space instead of leaving it completely flat and dry.
We chased the stars through midnight skies, found little sparks in tired eyes, no matter where the road may go.
I'm going to shape the decay so the tail doesn't hang around for too long, then dial in the mix so the effect is felt more than it's obviously heard.
We chased the stars through midnight skies, found little sparks in tired eyes, no matter where the road may go. We chased the stars through midnight skies.
That already gives the vocal a lot more depth without washing it out. Last one, delay, on the same vocal. This simply repeats the signal like an echo. I will adjust it a bit in both time and tempo modes, so the repeats sit rhythmically with the song instead of feeling completely disconnected from it.
We chased the stars through midnight skies, found little sparks in tired eyes, no matter where the road may go.
And now you've got compressor, reverb, and delay all working together instead of treating each plugin like a separate trick. So that's the full picture. Studio 2.0 now has a plugin browser packed with real mixing tools, and more importantly, there's an actual workflow behind them. We split the song into stems, shaped the guitar with distortion, looked at how a gate could clean up unwanted noise, controlled the vocal with compression, then added space and movement with reverb and delay. And you can even record your own voice directly into the project and process that the exact same way. The big thing is, none of this needs to be complicated. Pick one plugin, put it on one sound, and just listen to what changes. That's Suno Studio 2.0's new plugin rack. And this is only part 1 of a 4-video series we're doing on Studio 2.0, so there's a lot more coming. If this helped, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching.